Hello and welcome. No mai haere mai. This is Deborah McMahon talking astrology with you. And today we're talking about the astrological forecast for the week starting on 29 August 2022. We'll spend about 10 minutes on the transits and how they affect our personal lives. Just enough entertainment to have with your morning coffee. This week, the sun will transit between 5 and 11 degrees of Virgo, so it's birthday season for many of the Virgos in our lives. If that's you, happy solar return to you. Each week, the moon moves through about a quarter of the zodiac, and this week she transits through parts of Virgo, all of Libra and Scorpio, and parts of Sagittarius. These are the aspects I have chosen to discuss with you this week. We have just one planet in dignity, and that's Saturn retrograding in Aquarius. On Monday, Venus perfects an opposition with Saturn from Leo to Aquarius. On Tuesday, the moon trines Mars from Libra to Gemini. On Thursday, we have Mars in sextile to Jupiter from Gemini to Aries. On Friday, the moon opposes Uranus from Scorpio to Taurus. On Sunday, Mars moves into its pre-retrograde shadow as it moves past 8 degrees and 7 arc minutes of Gemini. And by the end of the week, Mercury is starting to slow prior to its retrograde. It's now less than 1.5 degrees away from its station. Let's turn to the charts. The beginning of the week shows just one planet in essential dignity. We still have Saturn in Aquarius, which will be with us for a while. Saturn in one of its home signs means that it can express its essential nature with little moderating influence. This planet is about limits, structures, and discipline, and it can be about retrenchment now in order to be better placed in the future. So you can look to the house in your personal chart associated with Aquarius for some insight about which part of your life is experiencing a little more structure and rigor, particularly in relation to your ideas about society, associations, and networks. Just a note about these charts, these are set in New Zealand time because that's where I am. So if you live outside of New Zealand, you might find that the transits perfect a few hours differently according to your time zone. You can convert these for your part of the world if you like, but they will be approximately right. Remember, as usual, the ascendant, midheaven, and house placements won't be relevant to you unless you live in the same part of the world as me. But it doesn't matter where you are in the world, the planets will still be in these signs and degrees and in the same relationship with each other. Venus opposite Saturn on Monday. An opposition often brings another player into the picture, and when it involves our planet of relationship and connection, it can mean that our love life comes into focus. Now, when the solemn, mature Saturn is involved, it brings a serious note. It can mean that we put some boundaries or definitions around our relationships, which can lead to a more permanent or solid footing, or to a better understanding of what we want in relationships, which could be won through hard lesson. On the other hand, this could be a couple of days when we could be feeling the lack of a loving relationship in our lives. There's also a chance that our self-worth is being redefined or that we are feeling a money pinch. The moon's trine with Mars on Tuesday. This is a very brief transit where our actions can align well with our feelings, and if circumstances support it, we could be acting in defense of those closest to us. The moon's conjunction with Mercury a few hours earlier can signify feelings around children or young people, or it could mean we are able to give expression to emotional patterns that have arisen from childhood. If we should find ourselves acting from instinct, we might also find there is more emotional insight available to us. The Mars sextile Jupiter on Thursday. A few days later, and we have the perfection of a transit that can encourage action. Mars is about our physical energy, desires, and going after what we want. And Jupiter is about expansion and optimism. Jupiter is transiting Mars's home sign of Aries, bringing an element of simpatico. So there is a possibility that this contact with the greater benefit will mean that actions taken now will bring some small reward or benefit. The moon's opposition with Uranus on Friday. This is unsettling energy, and we must remember that Uranus is still moving incredibly slowly following its retrograde station of last week. When a planet is slowed, its significations are amplified. And when we're dealing with an amplified Uranus, the desire for freedom and breakthrough is emphasized, even if it comes with some destruction or breakdown. Now, it's sitting in the fixed Earth sign of Taurus, and so we can be experiencing this shakeup in a trusted and reliable area of our lives, or where we have traditionally been most steadfast. The involvement of the moon suggests themes of emotional security, home, family, parents, particularly the mother, women's affairs, or the house we live in. An opposition suggests tension, and the axis involved is likely to be our need for stability and security in one area of our lives, and a need to shake things up in another. If there's not another person on the scene to act as antagonist, we're likely to feel this tension internally. There is also potential to move stuck emotional patterns. Mars in its pre-retrograde shadow from Saturday. Well, once Mars moves past 8 degrees and 7 arc minutes of Gemini, it is moving through parts of the zodiac that it will transit 3 times through to March next year. We can take note of the actions or passions that have our attention now, but we should understand that this starts a larger experience, an opening of an issue, a deepening of it as Mars moves retrograde through the same degrees, and then a resolution or integration as the planet makes its third pass through the same part of Gemini. This foreshadowing period, pre-retrograde, will last until the end of October. So see if you can identify what or who holds your attention now. It may be the start of a longer, more potted story. Mars and Gemini can have us desiring on multiple fronts, wanting novelty and variety. We could be very busy indeed, but unless there are other factors at play, we may be too scattered to accomplish everything that we desire. By the end of the week, we have a slowed Mercury, readying for its upcoming retrograde. The Mercury signal is strengthened as the planet slows before it reaches its hard stop on Saturday of next week. Communications, perceptions, travel, and the technology and details that support this will become of increasing importance. Take time now to check details and back up data if the degrees between 24 Virgo and 8 Libra are significant in your personal astrology. We are now experiencing themes that we will return to again in mid-September when Mercury is moving backwards through the zodiac, and in mid-October when the planet returns to forward motion. Mercury in Libra could have us exploring all sides of an issue or debate. Conclusions may be a bit further from our grasp as we reach for a rational and fair understanding of complex dynamics. Well, thank you for your time, and I hope you enjoyed this. If you've recorded a like or have subscribed to the channel, I want to thank you. My personal news is that I'm starting a new day job involving quite a few additional hours, so I'm just reviewing how I might fit everything in. It's possible that I may need to review the frequency of these YouTube forecasts. I know that this won't please the algorithm, and it's likely to scupper any chance the channel has for growth, and that's unfortunate. But despite that, I want you to know that if you have watched and interacted, I have appreciated that. Noho o mai. Stay well, my friends. Goodbye until next week.